bit of confusion, a little bit of misunderstanding, in fact. And and this Murli was chosen on my part to do a little bit of manthan on. And I'm sure you all are excited because this is an amazing Murli. This is of the 15th of March, 1981. And the essence of the Murli is spinners of the discus of self-realization and rulers of the globe. And then there is another interesting aspect to it that Baba has added to this whole thing of the combination of the discus of self-realization and becoming the rulers of the globe. And that is becoming world benefactors. See, unless we have feelings of benefit for the whole world, unless we truly have mercy, compassion, love, deep sense of service for the world, we truly can't be rulers of the globe. And even before that, really speaking, we have to become we have to become the spinners of the discus of self-realization in order to become the rulers of the globe. And here Baba is giving a new definition of the spinners of the discus of self-realization, that is to tour around the world. Normally, Baba says we have to tour around our 5 forms. We have to experience the 5 forms, and that is really what he, in a practical way, gives us the understanding of spinning the discus of self-realization. But in this Murli, the other aspect that we cannot just sit at one place and do nothing, Baba has explained that even prime ministers and presidents, if they are rulers of a big country, they will go from one place to the other to make sure that everything is all right, that the people who are living in that state, in that city, in that area are taken care of, if they need something or not. And similarly, we Baba's children, in a way, are already rulers of the world. If we can go into the future and see ourselves as the golden aged rulers, then we are rulers of the globe. So it is important for us to tour around the world too. Now, touring around the world can be done physically, or it can be done mentally with the consciousness. So physically touring around may still be very difficult, expensive, and there are times when, travel across the continents, across the world can be quite challenging, as when we had the COVID, the pandemic, that time it was so difficult to travel. But we can always travel in our minds. We can go from one place to the other very quickly in our minds, and we can serve the people who are living there. And when we do that again and again, we will be called as the spinners of the discus of self-realization. Then we'll automatically become the rulers of the globe. Yes, so in this Murli, Baba starts off by seeing us children as master knowledgeful children. So he's knowledgeful and we are master knowledgeful. It's interesting that Baba uses the word knowledge and not wisdom. But when the word knowledgeful comes, actually what Baba is referring to is wisdom. Because you see, people in the world have so much of knowledge. And we children also many times get a lot of knowledge because of listening to Murlis, reading Murlis, and so on and so forth over many years that we have spent with Baba. But to be able to truly imbibe this knowledge and use it in the way it needs to be used at the right time, in the right place, with the right person, different things, different aspects that Baba talks about, we have to have the understanding of when to use, what to use. So really speaking, it is the wisdom that Baba wants to see in us children. And what is that wisdom? You see, Baba is talking about these jewels of knowledge or pearls of wisdom, really, that Baba is giving to us. We have received them. But we all are number wise, it is what it is. On one hand, we can say it's unfortunate, but on the other hand, this is how it is. This is how the drama has been created, that we are all number wise according to our capacity and power. But Baba wants us to truly become embodiments of that, of the knowledge that Baba is giving us, to be able to experience every point. And when we experience, then it becomes part of us. Mhm. So Baba wants us to be able to stabilize in that state of knowing what needs to be done, when, how, where, all of those things in a second. Now, I know it seems impractical, right? How can we do that in a second? But at least we can increase the speed of whatever we are doing. And I was sharing this in our morning Murli here when Baba was talking about this, the transformation in a second, service in a second, in the morning Murli too. For you all, it is now the 14th, but on 13th, we'll listen to the Sakar Murli of the 13th, because here it is 13th. And in that, I was talking about the fact that definitely transforming in a second is difficult. It's impossible, really. But what we can do is to increase the speed little by little every day. And it's important to do so, because if we are living in a household, which we are, right, or at work, our family members, our co-workers, our bosses, people in society, and even our extended families, they all want to see a change in us. Everyone wants to see changes in everyone else around them. But most often what happens is people make excuses. It's that we are trying to make a change, right? It's not that easy. We're doing the best we can. And sometimes the change takes days, months, years, decades, or maybe a lifetime. And that's what cheeses people off around us. I've realized that. So people want things to happen quickly, although they may not be able to deliver quickly, but they all want things to be delivered to them quickly. You see, now we have Amazon in India too. I think there's Amazon and other these kind of websites where you can order things like Flipkart. I don't know if it's still there or not, but all of these promise to deliver very quickly. Sometimes Amazon can deliver the same day, in the evening. And so everybody expects transformation of the other person quickly. So we have to somehow or the other empower ourselves enough so that we can deliver, if not instantaneously, at least reasonably quickly. This is what I'm realizing, and I was sharing that in our class here. And I am inspiring everyone around me, wherever I'm kind of going, to that, in a way that people can reflect on this. That am I taking too long to do what needs to be done? Here today, like in this Murli, Baba is talking about stabilizing in the knowledgeful stage. That is, I am a wise soul. I know how to use the points of knowledge at the right time, with the right place, with the right person. Can I do it right away? Okay, or am I going to take forever? You see, again, it may not happen in a second, but it shouldn't take forever for me to be able to do what Baba expects from me. And Baba is only expecting from us what the world is expecting from us. Baba wants us to be able to deliver to the world so quickly and in such a magnificent way that people, are overwhelmed. And that's when we will be able to win their hearts. And only when we win their hearts can we rule over them. Yes, so stabilize yourself in that stage and look at all the souls of the world. And what is the stage here again, Baba, that is Baba is wanting us to have a knowledgeful stage, but in that Baba wants us to stabilize ourselves in the Trikaldashi, Trinetri, far-sighted, a world almighty authority, a master of the treasures, filled with all virtues and attainments. You see, so many different self-respect points, so many different stages, if you will, Trikaldashi, to be able to see the past, the present, and the future. Trinetri, to be able to see what cannot be seen through the physical eyes. Yeah, to see the unseen, and to hear the unheard, to know the unknown, yeah, to be able to see through the darkness that the world has created. Maya has created. There's so much of darkness, of ignorance, darkness of pain and suffering that we should be able to see through, and also to see within. You see God. We can't see ourselves, really speaking. If you look at it, these eyes that we have, even scientifically, there is this peripheral vision, right? This is the field of vision that we have. We can't see anything behind this part. You can't even see your own eye sockets. You can't see your own face. There's no way that we can see our own face with our eyes. Only when we look at a mirror, and in the mirror we see our faces, that's when we can know how our face looks. In fact, looking at the nose, we can't even really see the nose. We can see, but in a way, the brain, subtracts the nose from our field of vision. So you see, the third eye is the only eye that can allow us to see all that cannot be seen with these physical eyes. Yes, so stage of being Trikaldashi, Trinetri, far-sighted, to have a telescopic vision. You see, again, here it's an important thing to understand. Many times it's not that difficult for us to see the immediate consequences of our actions. If we put our hand in the fire, and we know right away that we are going to get burned, and so we wouldn't. But so many times when we don't eat healthy food, or like, let's say we eat fried stuff every day, it's not that easy to connect the action with the consequence. We have the cause with the effect, and we also end up doing wrong things. Yeah, we eat unhealthy sometimes. We are not that cognizant of what is needed of us on a long-term basis. You see, for now, Baba tells us that, we know that Baba is telling us to remember him, you know, wake up at Amrit Vela, do Murli. So most of us who have been with Baba for quite a while, we do all those things. We know that if today I don't wake up at Amrit Vela, my day will not go very well. And if I don't listen to Baba's Murli, I won't have enough material to churn on through the day, and my mind is going to go into the waste of the world. But oftentimes we are not able to understand the long-term consequences of making effort in a mediocre way versus making effort in an elevated way. The effect of that will not be visible right away. It's going to take a long time for those results to really show up. So the ability to be farsighted, to be able to see that far ahead, that if I make any careless mistakes right now, or just pure carelessness in my effort, not even really mistakes, but if it's just pure carelessness in my efforts, there may not be immediate effects of those, but in the long term, I am going to find myself in a little bit of a mess at least. Yes, a stage of being Trikaldashi, Trinetri, far-sighted, a world almighty authority. We are world almighty authorities, not just for this limited space or place that we are living at, but we are responsible for the entire world. We are the master of all treasures. We are filled with all virtues and attainments. And so when we hold these thoughts, when we hold these different types of awareness, then we will be in such a better state a better shape, a higher, more elevated stage to be able to serve the entire world. And so Baba is saying that you seat yourself on this elevated stage of these self-respect points that Baba just shared, and then look at the world and now look at, well, on one hand, devotees, on the other hand, religious heads, religious souls. Yeah. This third would be the scientists, fourth would be politicians, fifth would be the general public. Okay, so when we are looking at these souls, all of them are suffering in some way or the other. All of them are hoping to get salvation. Now, who will give them salvation? No one other than us. But amongst us too, there'll be some who will be able to deliver and some not. The ones who are able to deliver are the ones who will get the return for that effort, right? So if I am careless and I don't deliver, then I lose out on the benefit of giving. I won't receive because as much as I give, that much I'm going to receive. It's a very simple equation. So if I don't give enough, then I won't receive enough. So then, Baba has gone at length, in looking at or sharing with us what troubles the devotees go through. They stand in queues for hours, and some of the places, and we've seen it in South India, especially, people stand there for the whole day. Some of them even faint, right? Some of them end up with so much of other troubles. It's not easy. People can get robbed, people can have their shoes stolen, their wallet stolen. So many things can happen, but still they try their level best to, you know, stand and do whatever else is needed. All those rituals, all that happens on the path of worshiping, path of devotion, they do that just so that they can get some salvation. So it's incumbent on us to give them that. And then similarly for the religious souls, similarly for the politicians, similarly for the scientists. One of the things that I really liked about what Baba was saying with respect to the scientists was that, you see, the scientists are truly making so much of effort. Now, on one hand, we can say they're not really making effort for us. They're making effort for themselves. They want name, they want fame, they want probably the Nobel Prize, maybe they want money, because many of these inventions give a lot of money. But still, the sacrifices they make, day in and day out, they work in their labs, they try to find new answers to their questions, and the risks that they take. I was sharing this in our our group, Murli. You look at some of these scientists, especially of the past, they went through tremendous amount of risk, and they even sacrificed their lives for science. And one of the examples I was giving was of Mary Curie, who discovered the radioactive, energy of radium, the radioactive effect. And she worked with radium all her life, and she ended up with cancer. She died quite miserably, actually, because of cancer. And in those days, there was no real treatment, no chemotherapy, no radiation therapy. All those treatments now that we have for cancer, none of those existed. Louis Pasteur, who is credited for pasteurization, who is also credited for the creating the rabies vaccine. And in those days, they didn't have those high quality pipettes, and you had to suck that little bit of sample with mouth. And so he would suck the dog's saliva, the dogs who had rabies, who would go mad, he would collect the saliva, then he would suck it with his mouth into that small pipette, and then, do experiments with it. And if he would suck a little too hard, all that would go into his mouth, and he would die of rabies too. You see, so these people did so much, and they're continuing to do so much, just so that Actually, the truth of the matter, what I realized from Baba's Murli is they're really doing it for us. All those inventions are helping us. See, we are able to meditate, in these spaces, which also, which I mean, which couldn't have been done, not also, but couldn't have been possible without all these inventions of science. The electricity there, that we have, heating, cooling, hot water, microphones, speakers. People are able to listen to us. People are able to enjoy all of these comforts today. We Baba's children. See, one is the people of the world who are enjoying all those comforts and luxuries, but we Baba's children are also so comfortable at this time. We are able to right now listen to each other, although we are probably, what, 5,000 some miles away. Yeah, I can't remember how many um, miles we are away from each other, India versus America, but we are enjoying this conversation, this discussion, this talk, or whatever you want to call it, because of science. So they have gone through so much of renunciation. So it is incumbent on us to deliver to them, to give them, to serve them. And in a way, think about it, all the people of the world, including, yes, I forgot one category of people that Baba has also mm, referred to in this Murli, the rulers of the kingdoms. Yeah, they are also suffering, they are struggling. They don't know when their kingdom will be taken over by someone else. They don't know when their position, politicians also, they don't know when they will have to let go of their chairs. There's so much of anxiety, so much of fear. So they're all our brothers and sisters. They are all our progeny in a way. Yeah, we are the ancestor souls. So we have to become merciful. Baba is reminding us. We have to have a vision of mercy, and we have to give them something or the other. We have to serve them in every way we can. And yes, they will take what they need to take from us, and they will feel as if they've received salvation for all their efforts. Yes. And when Baba is talking about the general public, but it's really for everyone, that we have to have the ability to become lighthouses. Yeah, give strength, give courage to the entire world. So let's take a pause for a few minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and see ourselves as lighthouses. And let's see all these 5 or 6 categories of souls in front of us. So, on one hand, we can see the devotees. On the other hand, the religious souls who are so engrossed in scriptures, and sometimes they get into debates with each other and with us sometimes even. Then we have the politicians, then rulers like, kings and queens, the royal families, which we still have in today's world in some countries. Then the scientists. And then here on this side could be the general public. So this is really the whole world in front of us, the entire planet in front of us. So look at them and see how difficult it must be for them, how challenging it must be for them to be able to do everything that they are doing. And so we have to serve them. They're hoping to get something from us. And we are the ones who have something to give to them. No one else on this planet, no one else in this world has anything to give to them really, except us. So we are the ones who will give, we are the ones who have to give, we are the ones who will give eventually. So now we have to step up to the plate. Yes, we have to take responsibility. and do whatever it takes. And this is where Baba is reminding us that we have to tour around. Again, he is giving us all these titles: world benefactors, Trikaldashi, Trinetri, Master Knowledgeful, Master World Creators. So we should tour around and cast our vision everywhere. Like I was mentioning earlier on in the beginning, that this is a brand new definition of being spinners of the discus of self-realization, is that I don't remember listening to this, reading this ever before, and I loved it. Yeah. Normally we would think spinner of the discus of self-realization, Swardarshan Chakradhari, to see ourselves, to see on one hand, all the wonderful qualities, the values, the virtues, the powers that we hold within ourselves. What needs to be done to fix our inner world if it has gone into a wrong state. That all that would be part of being the spinner of the discus of self-realization, and which Baba very beautifully creates for us a practical way to become spinners of the discus of self-realization, is seeing those 5 forms. I'm a soul in the supreme abode, a golden aged deity. I'm a copper aged deity in the temple, an image, a worship-worthy form. In the confluence age, I'm a child of Baba. And then at the end of the confluence age, I'm an angel. But here now, this is a new definition. So let's try to do this right now. Let's see ourselves touring the world, round, 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 every day. And everywhere we are going, we can see all these 5 or 6 categories that Baba mentioned today in this worldly. Again, the politicians, the rulers, the scientists, the religious souls, the devotees, and the general public. We're giving them whatever they're hoping to get from us. If it is peace, we're giving them peace. If it's happiness, we're giving them happiness. If it's love that they want, we're giving them love. If they want strength, we're giving them strength. See, only when we become such spinners of the discus of self-realization, that is, only when we tour around the world every day, can we be called as the rulers of the globe. All right. So this was the main Murli, becoming world benefactors, touring around the world, and therefore becoming the rulers of the globe. Once again, we have to become world benefactors. That is, we have to have mercy, compassion, love for every soul on this planet. And that can happen only when we tour around, we go around. When we see people in pain and suffering, then we can give them all that they need. This touring around is being spinners of the discus of self-realization. And when we do that, we become the rulers of the globe. Beautiful, right? So then there are many different meetings. The first one was with Didi and Dadi. And most important aspect in this is that Baba wants us to harmonize our samskaras. So the biggest dance that we can ever do, the most wonderful dance that we need to learn how to do is to dance the dance of harmonizing our sanskaras. See, everybody has different sanskaras, and we have to learn the art of working with everyone to understand each one's mentality, each one's behaviors, each one's sanskaras, and then play along with that. I'm realizing more and more that life's a game and one has to learn how to play it. Sometimes we get too serious. Yes, we have to be serious too. It's serious play, but we have to learn the art of enjoying it. And so many different people will have many different outlooks, perspective, perceptions, and whatnot, but we have to learn how to work alongside people. And I liked how even Bruce Lee has said that when my opponent expands, I contract. When my opponent contracts, I expand. And that's the best way of fighting a fight and winning it. So here it's not like fighting the fight, but we have to win the heart of the other person. You see, only when we win the heart of the person, then the other person will want to cooperate with us. And only when we get cooperation can we do humongous tasks, big programs, big events, do service in a big way. And only when we do big service can we get the reward from Baba to become the kings and queens of the golden age. So it is extremely important that we learn how to mold ourselves. And here Baba is saying that foreigners have the ability to, mold themselves in a way physically. They have very elastic bodies, flexible bodies. I was using the word elastic, but what Baba means is flexible bodies, because a lot of Westerners do all this physical yoga, hatha yoga. So Baba is saying that you have to loosen yourself up a little bit. Yeah, what does this mean, tight and loose, that Baba is talking about here is basically being either inflexible or flexible. When people say something to us, many times we are extremely rigid, extremely inflexible. No, I only like it this way. So many times, especially I'm seeing here in the West, so many relationship issues happen, husband, wife, and in-laws, and the daughter-in-law, the son-in-law. So many times people don't want to be flexible. So rigidity in the way they want things to be done, and then there is a lot of conflict. And the conflict can be quite damaging. Sometimes people come and tell us that, this thing happened, but I'm not able to get over it. And it has been many, many years since that situation, that event, where there was a clash of sanskaras with their own family members. And many times what happens also is that even though you may be able to forgive and maybe even forget, the other person is not able to forget and forgive. So they hold on to it too. So there is constant, tussle, and nobody is happy in that situation. So Papa is wanting us to let go of those sanskaras, those clashes. So Bab Dada, see, very nicely says, Bab Dada surrenders himself to you children for your efforts and courage, because no matter what you children are like, once you've said Baba, you've completely surrendered yourselves, for after all, you're my children. So see, Baba is surrendering to us. I was thinking about this quite a bit, and he is ready to mold to our needs. You see, till a few years back, we used to have Baba come, right? And In a way, we would give dates to Baba rather than Baba saying, I'm going to come this day or this date at this time. We would tell Baba, Baba, you come at this on this day at this time. So Baba would be so flexible for us, and Baba would surrender everything to us all the time, and he still is. He has always done that. So we too have to learn the art of surrendering to the world in a way, surrendering to the needs of the world. And that can happen only when we are more flexible. We stop being rigid. We understand everyone has their own sanskaras when we learn the art of harmonizing our sanskaras. Now, there's a very interesting aspect that Baba has talked about here. And he's talking about that even when we make mistakes, Baba sees only the benefit in all of those things. You see, for example, when some child falls, and he's giving the example of the world out there. When a small child falls, then what we usually end up doing is we change the topic. In a way, we would bring, let's say, a toy for the child is crying, child is upset, oh, I hurt myself, and starts crying. So then when the child sees a toy that's making noise or something funny is happening with the toy, then the child begins to forget his own pain and the fact that he has fallen down and becomes happy again. So similarly, Baba is using the same tactic to make us feel good. And what is the topic? What is the same tactic? What is he wanting to do, and what is he doing? Is that he is creating happiness in our hearts, even though we have done wrong things. You see, if even though we have made mistakes. And so what Baba is saying is that, there's a sentence. Let me read this sentence, and then we'll talk more about this. So here too, if you children stumble, and so he's using the word poker. So again, pun here, huh? So toker and thakur. So if you children stumble, that is, there is toker, whilst moving along, then the father reminds you that it is by stumbling in this way that you become experienced and you are able to become lords, that is, idols or thakur. You see, Baba many times has a very hands-off approach to us. He guides us, he gives us all the directions that we need, he gives us power, but then he steps back. He allows us to make mistakes. He allows us to stumble because he knows that even in our stumbling, that is in Toker, we will actually learn something more. You see, we'll become stronger. In the West, there is a saying, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So Baba knows that when we stumble, we hurt ourselves, then we'll only become stronger. That is, we'll become Thakurs. So he doesn't even look at the stumbling. He just sees past that stumbling into the future, that this stumbling is going to only make us stronger. Yes, so this is why every soul is essential, Baba is saying. Baba looks at all three aspects of time. He doesn't only look at the present time. So we too have to have the ability to look past the present time into the future. Yes, to see what are the amazing things that people in the world will be able to do because of our cooperation. And also, of course, what we can do despite all the challenges that are happening at this time. Yes. So Trikaldarshi was one of the titles that Baba gave us in the beginning, to be able to see the present, but also the past, also the future. Yes. All right. So shall we take a moment together to see ourselves surrendering to this extent to Baba and to the world, that we are ready, we are willing to learn the dance of harmonizing sanskars with others, because everybody will have new and different sanskaras, and together we can achieve the unachievable, but we have to learn the art of working alongside other people. And also see yourself, although stumbling, but try to see past that stumbling of yours into the beautiful future filled with strength, filled with confidence, the most amazing future for yourself. Also, see the whole world, all the souls of this planet, although they're stumbling. Again, we are able to look past their stumbling and look at the amazing future that they have. Some of us will go into the golden age, and the rest will go into the supreme abode, and they will come back. When they come back, they will be much happier than they are at this time. Yeah, so we'll be bringing salvation to all of them. Then Baba is meeting the teachers, the next meeting, seniors as well as juniors. Yes. And Baba has a lot of love, lot of respect for the seniors, but also for the juniors. He has lots of hopes from seniors as well as the juniors. And here again, he's emphasizing that how can we become the rulers of the globe unless we don't tour around? We have to visit in our minds. And so for those who are in India and tour around across India and across the world, the abroad, America and all, Baba is saying that in the West, service is a little easier. So, those in India have to work very hard. So, and to some extent, it is true because people in the West, especially the double foreigners, you will see that they don't have the the all the materialistic desires that we Bharatwasis end up having. So they have a lot of renunciation already that is built into their psyche because they've seen so much. They don't care about very expensive cars or houses and things like that. So Baba is saying that service can be easier. So just tour around in your mind everywhere, whether in Bharat or in the world, yeah, abroad. And then Baba is meeting a group, and it's not specified which group is that. Baba wants that we Baba's children, so it can be for us too, we have to see ourselves in that group. That's the best way of reading these Avyak Murlis, where Baba is meeting with individuals or with groups, that actually Baba is meeting with us. So Baba is talking about how when family members leave their homes, then the people who are left behind are not very pleased, like when the parents yeah, are getting old and the children leave the homes for study, for work, for whatever reason, then the older ones in the family become a little bit sad. But here Baba is saying that when children leave the home, he becomes pleased. Leave the home would not mean that, leave the knowledge, but really leave the Baba's, gathering, that is Madhuban, and then go out and serve. So Baba wants us to serve. Baba wants us to not just sit at one place and hope that service will happen automatically. No, Baba wants us to give the proof of our worthiness. That is, we have truly learned from Baba what needs to be learned. We have truly become what Baba wants us to become, and then go out and serve others. Yeah, so Baba is very happy when Baba's children go out and bring many more. There is a lot of happiness in Baba's heart. Then Baba talks about Amrit Vela. How can we make our stage at Amrit Vela powerful? And here Baba is talking about us creating new experiences. Sometimes we can be knowledgeful, sometimes we can become embodiments of love, sometimes lighthouse, something else, some other day. Every day, Baba wants us to create new experiences. You see, because we also know that variety is the spice of life. You see, when we do the same thing over and over again, sometimes actually we can get bored. So um, on one hand, you see, Baba has given us a routine, and I was thinking about this quite a bit. That Baba has given us a routine, and there are no changes in the routine. It's not like today I can do Amrit Veda, tomorrow I can skip it, just to have a change. So we have to have Amrit Veda, we have to have Murli class, and then after that, whatever service is needed. So there is a, a, a routine that gets created. And now, even in the world, they're talking about that when we don't waste our time in silly or small decision making, then we are able to save our energy for big decisions. And so, how will it be that you know that we can come to a state where we don't waste time in small decision making? Is when we have a routine. So, see, people in the world will think, tomorrow, what time should I wake up? Maybe I should wake up at 7. Maybe I should wake up at 8. My first meeting at work is not till 10 o'clock. So maybe I can sleep in a little more. Or what should I eat tomorrow? Or what do I have to do after I do this? But for us, our day is set. We have a routine. So after coming back from work, if those people will again think about, oh, whether I go for a party or go to movie or stay at home and watch a movie on Netflix, all of those things can come to their minds. So they will constantly have to battle with their own minds, you see. This is why those people become tired, actually. Uh, and that's why they are not able to achieve much. But for us, Baba's children, we have this routine, this wonderful routine. We don't have to think tomorrow morning what we have to do. When we after Murli class, what we have to do. We have this very little time between Amrit Vela and Murli class to get ready for the Murli class. And then after Murli class, then we have to prepare our meal and we have to go to work. We come back, we have this evening meditation, 7 to 7:30, or some places 6:30 to 7:30. Then we have our dinner, we remember Baba, clean up, prepare for the next day, and go to bed after saying good night to Baba. So this is a routine, a beautiful routine. But this routine can also become a little mundane for many of us. So Baba wants us to bring newness in this routine by creating different stages, and especially at Amrit Vela, because Amrit Vela is the most powerful time, and oftentimes we waste that time. We are not able to achieve the what we can achieve potentially, what each one of us can experience and accumulate at Amrit Vela. Oftentimes we don't do that. So Baba wants us to increase our experiences by creating different stages for ourselves, and like Karmati stage, angelic stage, and sometimes even heart-to-heart conversations with Baba. Right now, next is the New Zealand group. And again, Baba uses pun. So he's saying New Zealanders should give new news. It's a new news to the world. And of course, all the service that they would do, then that would go back to Baba as new news. So we too can see ourselves giving the new news to the world. The new news that Baba has come, Baba is serving us, guiding us, directing us, liberating us, infusing all this energy into us. And you know what? You too can come and take it. It's free of cost. It is your privilege. It is your right to receive all that God has to offer. And come, we will guide you through this too. So this news we can give to them. And then the reverse news, when we have changed them, when we have served them, we have become lighthouses for them. You see, we are able to transform them. Then we can give that news to Baba. Then Baba, yeah, such a family has been created. So many souls have been transformed, and we're going to bring all these souls back to you. And then Baba has the Trinidad group. Yes, again, he's reminding that there are many ways to serve. You can serve through the world, but you can also serve through the mind. Baba wants everyone to be extremely busy in doing that because, once again, in the West, especially, we hear this saying, and an empty mind is a devil's workshop. So Baba doesn't want our minds to be empty at any point. Sometimes we may not have physical service to do here, but let's say it's Sunday or Saturday, and we live far away from the center, so we are at home and just chilling, and then our minds can become devil's workshops. So Baba wants, even when we are not doing something physically, we are serving through the mind. And even when we are doing something physically, right? Even if we are engaged in physical service, of course, there's one lokic service. We go to take care of our jobs. But also, if we are doing physical service at the centers, even during those times, we should serve to the mind simultaneously. Yes. Baba is giving a nice title to the Trinidad souls, that we are spiritual social workers. So we have to free everyone from their wandering. They're wandering, they're struggling, they're suffering, they're laboring. We have to have lots and lots of mercy. We have to come up with the new points, how we can transform them. So somewhere creativity has to be there in us so that we can serve them. Okay. And then Baba is talking to the America group. And here Baba is saying that he wants us to be seated on his heart throne. And this heart throne is so large that we can do lots of things seated here. He's reminding us of the fact that in America we have carpet everywhere, wall-to-wall carpet. And so Baba is saying that that's a great thing. We have this, then our feet don't get dirty. So Baba is saying that you remain seated on Baba's heart throne. And Baba's heart throne is wonderfully carpeted. Yeah, wall carpets. And so if we stay in Baba's heart throne, we are seated there comfortably, then we will not get our feet dirty. That is, our mind will not become dirty. We will not get affected by the mud or the dirt or the dust of body consciousness. Yes. Then he's saying, he's giving us another title, constantly double light. If there's the slightest heaviness, you will get off the throne. You see, staying on throne is not that easy either, although it might seem easy. It's a great place to be, but for that we have to be light. In fact, double light. As soon as the slightest heaviness comes, as soon as the slightest darkness comes, then in a way we automatically get off the throne. And when we get off the throne, then we have to face Maya. If you remain seated on the throne, Baba is saying, Maya will salute us. And of course, we will get lots of wonderful things from Baba as long as we are seated in Baba's heart throne. So Maya will not be able to attack us. Maya will succumb to us, will salute us. But if we get down from the throne, then Maya will get the chance to attack us. So let's take a couple of minutes together to see ourselves seated on Baba's heart throne, where we are double light. Baba's heart throne is a very comfortable place, very clean, wall-to-wall carpeting, where no dirt can come. Maya cannot ever come. And in that double light state, nothing can make you get off that heart throne. See what a lovely place to be, lovely space to sit on. Okay. Om Shanti. I think we are very close to being done. Back to you, Rakhi Ben. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. In the interest of time, we can only take one sharing before we close the session. If anybody wants to share anything uh, about the discussion we had today. Any thoughts?
I think they are overwhelmed with all the wonderful things that Baba has shared in today's Murli, in this Avyakt Murli, which I'm sure you will listen to in a couple of days, I think starting tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. You will,
Starting Wednesday. We
Wednesday.
just checked it, starting Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. Okay. Good, good, good. I'm sure you will enjoy it when you listen to it. I'm sure it'll take 2 or 3 days to
Yeah, it's quite longer Murli. Yes, it's a 3 days Murli.
fantastic. So good luck,
Yeah.
everyone. And, I hope you all got a good grasp of the Murli even before the Murli will be read in this class. All right, so with this, we can remember Baba together, right, Rakhi Ben, for a moment, and then we can. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. Thank you, Shwetan Bhai. We shall meet tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.